are going to be going over all of my previous customs and the evolution of my customizing career. Now, if you didn't already know, I have been painting these little creatures for about 6 years now, and I recently fell out of it, which is why you didn't see me on social media. And when I got back, I found out just how many customs I had painted over the 6 years that I have been doing it, and I realized how far I'd come. So today I'm making a video about all of my old customs up to my new ones to show you guys that if you don't think you've improved, you have. And that anyone can really do customizing if they want to, and it's very important that you remember that it's okay if you don't think your customs look good now, because trust me, if you keep at it, you will improve. So we are going to be going over all of my customs, oldest to newest, right now. So let's get into it. So how I'm going to be reviewing these is by going by generation, so there's less confusion about when these took place. Now this is at the very beginning of my career, so 6 years ago. These little guys are about the same age. I probably painted them a week apart. Now, as this one is painted in like nail polish, you can tell that his paint may be smooth, but he's painted rather poorly. And I don't really like him. I think that he could have been done a lot better, but then again, don't be overly critical with your work, guys. Remember that you're growing as an artist and that you should always keep at it. So the other one, I used pour paint, and I don't necessarily think that it's on me that the paint was very old that I used, and so it was very clumpy and it didn't come out looking how I had wanted it to, but nonetheless, I think that it was okay for my first custom. I gave her this little necklace, which I can't really even turn around anymore, so I think that they came out alright. And now we're going to move on to the next generation. Now this next generation of pets, I like to call my experimental phase in customizing. Do I like any of them? Actually, I like this one quite a bit, but I don't like these two. I think that I could have done much better, and you know, they definitely are not good, but I still enjoy that I was able to paint them. I think that I tried a lot of different things, such as painting the eyes, where I tried to use the utmost long strokes when using paint to make these eyelashes really pop. And I really like this one. Her name is Cherry, and I don't know why I particularly like her. I just think that it's really cool, and I think that her color palette was great. Compared to these two, at least, which came after her, I don't really like this one because of the color palette, but, you know, I think that she came out okay, and this one I definitely could have done better on. I'm almost wondering if I finished. Now, here's the thing with these guys, is that I used a really old varnish when painting them, so you don't actually see quality where it doesn't like have these little marks on them from like where their earpieces were and such until later on, because I stopped using that old varnish and started using just better quality paints overall. Because actually this line that you're seeing on her forehead, which I'm not sure if you can see from the front, but you can see it from the back, was from a bow that I had on her. And the paint is really old, so you can tell where it's been scratched. And, you know, overall, I just think that this was a big growth period for my customizing, but I don't think that my quality was very good. Now, this generation I call the unfinished generation, where both of them I wasn't very inspired on and just didn't finish all the way, and I don't think that they came out good. I still use that really cheap paint, but I didn't use the varnish, so you can really tell the difference in quality when you use the varnish versus when you don't. And the next generation has about 3 pets, and the first one and the second one use the same paint color, but I want you to take note of how this one looks compared to the others, because this one is, well, fell over because it's unfinished and it's gross looking, but if you can't already tell, the paint is awful and scratched, and I could probably tear off most of it with my finger, and that's not good for painting. And I really just think that I fell out of customizing, and you can't really force yourself to paint. I mean, you can try, but it usually doesn't come out as good quality, which is what I'm seeing here. So I don't want to spend too much time on these two. I'm actually really unhappy that I use these two models for this stage. So let's move on to the next one. So this is what I call the growth era of my customizing. These three are really cute. They aren't, I wouldn't say per se well painted, and I'm gonna say really quickly that the black stain on her forehead came after the fact. I did not have that on her paint job. She went into a box in storage for a while we were, just organizing our house, and I found her, I think a year or two later, and I found out that I had actually ruined her by doing that, which made me so sad, but she still looks okay besides that. I think the reason I call this the experimental, or why I call them different than the experimental phase, is because I used color palettes that worked. I just tried a little harder, and I definitely think that I can see vast improvement between the first one in this set and the third one. And I'm still using the cheap paint here, like I said, from the old version. I don't like this paint at all, and I talked about it in my 4 tips of how to improve your customizing. This is before I transferred over to the better paint, so I'm really sorry for how this looks, but I still really love them, maybe because I just enjoy that they came out looking like this, and she's my absolute favorite. Her name is Sky, and she's beautiful. This is when I started to get into more realistic customs. I'm not quite sure what type of dog she is, though. Like, I know the model, but I don't know what I was trying to go for. Maybe German Shepherd mix or something, but we'll have to see. So, on to the next generation. This generation I can only classify as the after-the-fact generation, because I had stopped customizing for about 2 years before I actually got back into customizing, and these two came after, and you can kind of tell that the quality's improved, the paint's different, it's way smoother. I still didn't know about nail polish remover with this first guy, so you'll see that I used the same eyes, but with this girl, I definitely removed her factory paint, and it was one of the first times that I had ever done that. She had stamp-on eyes, so it was really hard to paint them on, but I still like her eyes. I think that they're okay looking. She was trying to be all nature-like, so I think that she was really pretty despite, the quality still wasn't great, and I was really rusty because I had just came back from a very long hiatus from painting, and I still didn't have any social media or anything like that for them. I just wanted to see what it was like to paint again on something that wasn't a canvas. So now we're going to move on to the next generation, which is kind of my absolute... Now this generation I like to call the perfection generation. And if you're wondering why Speckles 2.0 is in this generation, that's because despite all the mistakes, I just love her, and this is the first time I'm using that new paint. Well, besides the other two, I don't actually know if I used the new paint on them. I may have, I may not have. But this is when I got really into blending and creating interesting characters. And this actually was featured. This is my Yorkie custom. You probably saw her in my last video. She was featured on the LPS Amino, and it was such a blessing, and I say that every time. But I absolutely adore this custom. I only used varnish later on her, along with him. I used varnish. It actually didn't work out so well on him, but I still think he looks pretty okay. He's supposed to be an Australian Shepherd dog, and the German Shepherds are always cute. I have a lot of them around that I could still paint because I just love their model, and I think that this is the best generation because my painting skills, my painting skills were pretty great, and the improvement shows from the first one, obviously. So I really like this generation. It has all the bows and stuff, besides him, because maybe I should give him a bow, who knows. But I'm proud of this gen. I still love her, despite her not having good quality paint, but you can really see the improvement between the new and the old paint. So we're gonna move on to the next generation. So this gen is called the Experimental Phase Part 2. I'm just gonna be straight up honest. This is when I started to see myself not being inspired to paint again. And this one was really hard, and I wanted to try out with clay and stuff to make a mermaid, and I don't really like how it comes out, on the camera. I don't like how it came out in real life. I don't like her at all, but I think that I tried, and this is where I really experimented with paint and props that I glued on, the little bow on Vivi. I think Vivi's okay. But you know, this generation I'm not a huge fan of because I just think that I wasn't being true to myself and I should have taken a break, but I didn't. I continued to paint, and I don't exactly like how any of them came out, except for the one who is not here, which if anyone is on my amino, which is what these videos are for, is more amino generated, you're probably like, where is Galactica? The Galaxy one that actually came out really nice looking. Besides, you know, I think these all look nice. I just, you know, mistakes. This one I definitely don't think came out nice, but this one and this one are okay. Galactica got sold at a fair. If you didn't already know, I sell them in real life, just not online yet. And she got sold to a little girl, and I'm very happy about that. But she will be missed. She was probably the only experimental phase girl that I really, really liked. And so without further ado, we are going to go into the newest generation, which is, besides the perfect generation, is my favorite. So we're gonna go into them next. Now this is my final comeback. Well, this one came before that, but these two came after my little practice rounds that I did without, you know, posting anything. And I really, really like the turtle. I think that he came out really cute. Fun fact, I just found out that I had a little duplicate of his original model, which was a music pet. And you know what that means? It means that I'm going to give him a little girlfriend. So we're gonna have to stay tuned for that. But he came out really realistic, and actually, fun fact, he almost got sold too, but he did not, so we still see him here. And these two came after my final comeback, which I don't think that I'm gonna take another hiatus unless I lose, you know, the inspiration to paint again. But I'm gonna try to keep painting and try to keep updating best I can. But this is like after a little hiatus. She is absolutely gorgeous. This is Sunny. I really love her. I think that she's my favorite custom right now. She came out beautifully. This, I call her Peach, but I'm also kind of leaning towards Raspberry or something like that. I got really interesting with the eyes. And the second, well, more like third comeback is actually just, you know, the difference here is that you can see the craftsmanship has definitely been updated. The eyes are a lot different. I think that I really like this generation besides the first perfect generation, and I think that they are really neat looking, and I'm happy to have shared all of them with you throughout the time that I've been on Amino, and I'm really happy to have had a chance to be able to paint all these creatures and had a chance to have people that enjoyed my customs. So I really thank you for that. So now we're going to move into a comparison between my newest custom and my oldest custom. So here's the 6-year difference, and I almost feel a little emotional looking at this. You can just tell that there's a huge difference of paint and time and effort and quality, and you know, I just want to say here that if your custom look like this, do not think or even try to compare yourself to people that have characters that look like this, because you have customs that are unique to you, and you will improve no matter what you do. Just keep on painting and you will definitely improve yourself. And if you think that your customs look pretty like this, that's okay. If you think that your customs look pretty like this, that's also okay. I'm very happy to have had the chance to really do this, and I really, really, really am thankful for all of you guys' support over the time period that I've been posting my customs. So I thank you for that. And now I'm gonna go back to Julia to end us out. Alright guys, so I hope you had a whole lot of fun, and actually I am going to be doing something in a quick little second at the end card, because this is like the second, like before the end card. But thank you for checking out this video, and I hope you check out my older videos as well. I am a LPS customizer, and if you would like to send me some requests, be sure to go onto my Amino account, Roaming LPS, and I hope you really enjoyed yourself, and a couple new customs are going to be coming out real soon, so I will see you later, and we'll get into the last little part of the video that's very quick. So bye for now. And going around where you're supposed to show the number of subscribers and what pet you get. So I looked up 123, and that's why this is the end card, because it's not really related too much. But for 123 subscribers or followers on Amino, I got this pet, and I think she's really cute, and I like her. And technically, does this mean she's my new mascot? Who knows? Who knows? Goodbye!